concerned in terms of our total financial health when I looked at the president's recent budget that shows us $51 trillion in debt in 10 years, and to where we are getting into uncharted territory. Historically, regardless of the tax rate, we generally average around 17.5% to 18% of our GDP and what we can raise in revenues through the federal government. Occasionally it has spiked to 19 to 20. Sometimes it's lower. And we're now taking total spending up to close to 25% of GDP. Is that something that worries you? And I think it would be something where the ag program, which is kind of chump change when you look at 1.43 trillion over 10 years, 140 billion. But do you think we're in a sound trajectory so that ag and all the other things that we depend on here in the federal government, will it be there in a way that is going to be sustainable in the long run with all this borrowing and spending, which is now built into the new budget?
Senator, I'm sure you and I are probably going to disagree on this a bit. I think the president's right when he says it's important for this country to rebuild the middle class from the bottom up and the middle out. And that's going to require some investment. It's going to require an investment in a transformed economy. I think agriculture has a role to play in that. I think the president is right in terms of looking at his budget, where he's proposing deficit reduction with the understanding that those who are doing extremely well in this economy ought to be paying their fair share. You and I probably disagree about that. I think it's important for us.
By the way, I don't disagree with that.
Okay. Well,
I would believe everybody should pay their fair share. I'm just saying that even if you give all of that, it still bridges the gap on borrowed money. Are you comfortable, like I'm very uncomfortable with, borrowing this from future generations? I mean, we already do, and we've now structuralized it since 2000 to where I don't know that that's sustainable. You can't do it anywhere else. Sooner or later, it impacts even programs like ag that need a healthy federal government.
Well, yeah, I think if you take a look at some of the investments that are being made, particularly in infrastructure, I mean, how else can you finance infrastructure? I mean, that's how businesses finance.
Well, you'd have to.
Wow, friends, a Social Security overhaul may be on the way. Republicans and Democrats are coming close to an agreement on Social Security reform. A deal may include changing how much monthly benefits are and how the program will be funded. My friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video. Tomorrow, I will be announcing 2 winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter the weekly giveaway, friends, simply click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, the greater your chances, friends, of winning the giveaways. If you feel like Social Security benefits are not going very far, despite the big cost of living adjustment in the past few years, there is a reason for it. And inflation's only a part of the explanation. The government regularly adjusts many things for inflation. This includes federal tax brackets, contribution limits for retirement accounts, the size of the standard deduction, and the Social Security's cost of living adjustment. But one thing that has never been adjusted for inflation is the federal income threshold to determine if you'll have to pay taxes on your Social Security benefit. That means with each passing year, an increasing proportion of seniors have been reaching those low thresholds and having to pay taxes on their benefits. Depending on your provisional income, up to 85% of your Social Security benefits can be taxed. Provisional income includes your gross income, excluding Social Security benefits, plus any tax-free interest you received, like from a municipal bond holding, and 50% of your Social Security benefits. So if you're single and this total is less than $25,000, or if you're filing jointly and it's less than $32,000, none of your Social Security is federally taxed. If it's between $25,000 and $34,000 for single filers, or $32,000 and $44,000 for joint filers, Up to half of your Social Security is taxed. These thresholds have remained the same since taxes on Social Security benefits were introduced in 1984. And up to 85% is taxed for anything above $34,000 for single filers and $44,000 for joint filers. These thresholds were added in 1993. So for example, if you have $50,000 in income and receive $1,500 a month from Social Security, you will pay taxes on 85% of your $18,000 in annual benefits, or $15,300. You can file quarterly estimated tax returns with the Internal Revenue Service or ask Social Security to withhold federal taxes from your benefit payment. With such low income thresholds, a larger proportion of beneficiaries owe taxes on Social Security every year. In 1984, the average monthly check for an individual was $314 and $472 for joint filers. In 2023, it is $914 and $1,371. The percentage of all tax returns with taxable Social Security benefits grew to 33% in 2017. That is from 7.4% in 1999. And the Congressional Budget Office predicts that will grow to more than 50% by the year 2046. If Social Security income thresholds were indexed to inflation, many experts estimate the first thresholds of $25,000 for individuals and $32,000 for joint filers would be $73,000 and $93,000. And at those levels, a lot fewer Social Security beneficiaries would probably owe tax on their benefits. The scorching hot inflation from the past couple of years made things much worse. Many seniors had to tap retirement funds or take part-time job just to make ends meet, which boosted their income and meant they will likely have to pay taxes under Social Security. A recent survey by the League showed 58% of seniors want these thresholds adjusted for inflation, and quite a few are in favor of getting rid of the tax altogether. The Social Security and Medicare boards of trustees already predict Social Security trust fund reserves will be exhausted in the year 2034. And President Biden has called for protecting and strengthening Social Security. A Social Security overhaul is difficult because of a divided Congress. Any overhaul of Social Security would require bipartisan support. So dear friends, what are your thoughts on all of this? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section below. Today, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has also sought to quell concerns from Congress that despite the collapse of two banks in the last several days and ongoing consumer jitters about the state of the financial services sector, which is the nation's banking system, nonetheless remains strong. In testimony before the Senate Finance Committee, Janet Yellen touted the government's decisive and forceful actions to strengthen public confidence in our banking system after Silicon Valley Bank abruptly failed nearly 1 week ago and was taken over by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation in response to the failure of California-based Silicon Valley Bank. Federal regulators scrambled to craft a plan to bolster public's confidence in the soundness of the financial system and also to limit spillover effects. The Biden administration announced the emergency action it would take to shore up the banking system, which included ensuring depositors with accounts at Silicon Valley Bank would have access to all of their money. Well, my most amazing and dearest friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this Thursday. Thank you so much, friends, for being part of this community and for joining me here every single day. If you would like to enter tomorrow's Walmart gift card giveaway, please make sure you click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. My friends, the more videos that you watch and then comment on, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed Thursday.